"You don't belong here." 3 words, spat out like venom. And a second later, crack, the sickening sound of flesh meeting concrete. That was how it started. In the middle of nowhere, under the humming neon buzz of a gas station sign off Highway 61, the kind of town where strangers were a problem, and black strangers, well, they were something else entirely. Her name was Reina Cole. 42. Calm. Sharp eyes behind thick frame glasses. Short natural hair. High-waisted khakis. And a government-issued rental car that didn't scream attention, except in a place like Stonebridge County, where anything different stuck out like a sore thumb. She was just stopping for gas. That's all. No badge, no weapon, no drama, just gas. And a bitter cup of coffee from a cracked machine. But in Stonebridge, a black woman traveling alone was enough to make the air turn thick with suspicion. The stares started the second she stepped out of the car. Not aggressive, not yet, but the kind that follows you like shadows in daylight. The kind that makes the hairs on your neck rise, even if no one says a word. Inside, the gas station smelled like burnt oil and mildew. 2 men at a plastic table stopped talking when she walked in. A wrinkled woman behind the counter blinked at her like she was a ghost. Reina didn't flinch. She'd been in towns like this before. She poured sugar into her coffee, slowly, calmly, pretending not to notice the way the room seemed to hold its breath. And then he arrived. Sheriff Dale Huxley. Broad chest, thick mustache, and belt heavy with authority and entitlement. He didn't announce himself. He didn't need to. The energy shifted the moment he walked through the door. The men at the table straightened. The woman behind the counter gave a weak smile, one of those "please don't make trouble" smiles. Reina could feel his gaze before she saw it, heavy, judging, cold. He didn't look at her like a person. He looked at her like a threat. He spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "Just passing through, huh?" She met his eyes. "That's right, just gas and coffee." He smirked. "In a rental from out of state, funny place to stop." Reina didn't answer, because nothing she said would have made a difference. The sheriff leaned against the counter, sipping coffee like it was whiskey. "Family nearby?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "Somewhere down the road." He chuckled. "Folks like you usually don't have family around here." There it was, plain and raw. No metaphor, no subtlety, just racism, standing tall in a pressed uniform. Reina stayed composed. Years of training kept her still, her tone steady. But inside, something twisted, not in fear, in calculation. She started walking toward the door. "Appreciate the hospitality." She didn't make it far. The sheriff grabbed her arm, firm, just above the elbow. Not hard enough to bruise yet, but hard enough to say, "I own you." "Hold up," he growled. "Just got a couple questions. Standard procedure for suspicious types." Reina stopped, looked at his hand, then at his face. "What's suspicious about coffee and gas, Sheriff?" He didn't blink. "Your demeanor, too calm, like you're casing the place." A chair scraped behind them. One of the men at the table half stood, then sat back down. His hands trembled slightly. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe cowardice. Either way, he stayed quiet. Reina spoke again, low but clear. "I'm a citizen, traveling. I haven't broken any laws. You have no cause to detain me." The smirk vanished. Sheriff Huxley's voice turned cold. "You think you can talk to me like that?" He called out, "Deputy Langston, get out here." A young deputy peeked out from the back, thin, nervous, maybe 30. "Yes, sir." "This one's being difficult. Escort her outside. We're taking a little ride to the station." Langston hesitated. "She hasn't done anything, Sheriff. I mean—" "Now," Huxley barked. Langston flinched. He looked at Reina, apologetic, ashamed. His fists clenched at his sides, then loosened again. He didn't resist. He just lowered his eyes and said, "Ma'am, please step outside." Reina nodded. No struggle, no scene. She walked out, Langston behind her. As she opened her car door to retrieve her license, she slipped her phone into her pocket and hit record. No lights, no beeps, just silence. Langston took her documents with shaky hands. And then Huxley stormed out after them. "Forget the paperwork, Langston. She's coming with me." Langston stepped back, his mouth opening then closing. He looked down. Said nothing. Reina stood her ground. "You're violating my rights," she said quietly. "I will not be detained unlawfully." Huxley stepped closer, inches away now, his voice lowered, almost intimate. "You got no rights out here. Not unless I say so." He raised a finger to her face, shaking with anger. "Get in your car and leave, or come with me and wish you had." Reina didn't budge. "I'm not going anywhere without cause," she said. His face twisted. Fury overtook reason. He shoved her, hard. She hit the ground, hard and sudden. Gravel burned her palms. Her breath caught. And all of it, every word, every shove was recorded. Not just on her phone, but on his body camera. He forgot it was on. That's what buried him. A moment later, Langston stepped forward. Pale as ash. "Ma'am, you okay?" Reina looked up at him. Pain in her voice, but calm. "Deputy, was his camera on?" Langston blinked, then widened his eyes in realization. "Oh, God. I think it was. He always turns it on for confrontations." She nodded. "He's done." She stood slowly, bruised, but not broken. Reina pulled a different phone from her bag, dialed a number from memory. "Secure line. Identify," said the voice on the other end. "Cole. Reed. Physical assault by local law enforcement. Bias motivation suspected. Currently located outside of Stonebridge, requesting backup." "Understood, Agent Cole. Help is on the way." Langston's jaw dropped. "You're CIA." She didn't answer him, not directly. But the look on her face said everything. Less than an hour later, the town's silence shattered. Black SUVs, unmarked vehicles, agents in dark suits. Sheriff Huxley puffed at his chest when they walked in. "What's the meaning of this?" he barked. A woman stepped forward. "Agent Sloan, FBI. This is Agent Martinez. We're here regarding an incident involving you and a federal officer." Huxley scoffed. "What federal?" And then Reina Cole walked in, standing tall, silent, watching. "You assaulted a federal officer," Agent Sloan said, on camera. Huxley's face turned to stone. You were just some..." He couldn't even finish the sentence. Because it didn't matter what he thought she was. It mattered what the truth was. And the truth was now evidence. Body cam footage, audio, witness testimony, all of it. He was cuffed right there, in his office. Led away past the same deputy who had looked the other way. Past the gas station clerk who now stared at the floor. Past the two men at the table, one of whom muttered, "Didn't know." "Yeah, you didn't know. But you joined in anyway." The footage went viral. Not just because of who Reina was, but because of how raw it was, how honest, how undeniable. It wasn't a movie. It was America. A place where rights are real, but only if someone records them. The sheriff was convicted, the department gutted. Stonebridge had to face itself, and it didn't like what it saw. And Reina, she went back to work. Quiet, steady. Changed but not broken. Because power backed by hate will always collapse under the weight of truth. And this time, it was all on camera. What do you think? Who is right? Who is wrong? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story if you believe in justice.